Yo, what's good? It's your man, 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops. The Detroit Pistons have won 3 out of 4 games. I want to dive into that and what I think about it. If you enjoy this video, smash the like button for me. You all know what to do. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. All the love and support and conversations in the chat have been dope. So let's keep it going. The Detroit Pistons are on a bit of a winning streak. And it feels good. It feels good to see the W instead of the L. It feels good to know that you can put something together to take away a victory. Um, but I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. So I'm gonna say my piece, and then I'm gonna go on to some things that are a little bit more positive. But let's keep our expectations in line. Similar to the start of the season, I said, look, this is a young team, one of the youngest teams in the league, especially with all their veterans out. They're not going to win a lot. And a lot of you, even including myself, had moments of excitement, lost sight of those expectations, and then got frustrated when they were losing and looked for somebody to blame. It was either Monty Williams, it was either the front office, it was some player couldn't get it. It was a young team that should have never been expected to win a lot in the first place. But similarly, today, they're still a young team. They're still figuring themselves out. They're still trying to get their chemistry down. They're still trying to figure out a team identity, a culture, how they're going to show up night in and night out. Asara Thompson is dealing with an illness. This team is still trying to put it together. And so tonight, when they face the Miami Heat, do I expect a win? Not necessarily. The Miami Heat are trying to position themselves to get out of the play-in tournament, to get to that number 6 seed, potentially, and they are in a dogfight. They are fighting for their playoff hopes, for their playoff lives, um, and so I expect them to come in prepared, ready, and locked in. Uh, Now, it's not to say that Detroit Pistons don't have enough talent to beat them. I think they have enough talent to beat just about anybody, but they haven't put it together yet. Jaden Ivey's jump shot has still been shaky. It's been inconsistent as of late, though I think he will get that back into form. Jalen Duren is still figuring himself out on defense and trying to be consistent and reliable, not getting into foul trouble and such. Um, it's great to see Marcus Sasser back. He's that spark plug off the bench that they've been desperately needing to have some balance of scoring coming in off the bench. I like Quentin Grimes, though he still hasn't gotten his jump shot down either. So as to say, do I expect them to win this game? No, but it doesn't mean that it's all for naught, right? I think there's still a lot that we can take away from watching every single game. And one of the things that I want to talk about is that I think that this team finally has its core. They have the team for the future. It's the starting five plus Sasser, Wiseman, Fontecchio, and Grimes. This is the team that they should be locked in on for the next 3 years. For the next 3 years, this team should be growing together. They should be looking to figure out, can this be a championship core? And I actually think it can be. And that's probably one of the dopest takeaways from this kind of winning streak. Not to say that, oh, look, they're super good and they're going to start winning a bunch of games in terms of this season, but it's to say what they've been able to do when you start seeing flashes come together, right? The two-man game between Cade and Ivy and Cade and Durant, or Ivy and Durant. When you're seeing those three work well together, whether it's Durant dominating on the interior, pick and rolls, setting monster screens, scoring in the post, hitting the offensive glass, whether it's Ivy attacking closeouts, especially off Cade Cunningham, or in transition, he is a blur in transition, or Cade Cunningham running the pick and roll, getting to his spots around those free throw line elbows. Um, you can just see it. You can see it. You can see Caden Ivey being 24 to 26 point per game scorers, and Jalen Duren being a 22 and 12 type of a big man. When you see Asar Thompson's jump shot start to come around, and now he's knocking down shots and showing more comfort, more confidence, you begin to see, like, well, even if he just gets to league average, what that does to his outlook and projection in the future because of his impact on defense and transition, his facilitation, playmaking, his ability to get to the rim at will. He can be absolutely scary. And considering he's just in year one as a rookie, I mean, sky's the limit. Isaiah Stewart's 3 point shot is becoming more and more consistent. He's shown that he can knock it down. He just has to figure out what are his shots. And his teammates have to learn how to set him up, not give him the ball at the end of a shot clock, right? Versus setting him up off of a penetration, drawing a defender and kicking, right? So we see these different flashes against the Toronto Raptors, Brooklyn Nets, Charlotte Hornets, and we begin to say, like, okay, if this all comes together, then we look at guys like James Wiseman off the bench. He still has scary potential, even though his hands are not the best. Kind of has those Kwame Brown hands where, he can grab a rebound, but you can also knock it out his hands just as easily. But it's to say he's still grabbing them. He's still grabbing 6 to 8 a game off the bench. He's still blocking shots at a high rate off the bench. Great finisher around the rim. And so he has a lot of potential that he's slowly growing into as well. And then when you look at Sasser and Fontecchio, these guys, their shooting ability to make plays off the bounce, um, just fits in beautifully with that front five. And so as they begin to put these things together, and unfortunately, it seems like they only get maybe 2 or 3 out of 5 or 7 different aspects of what they could potentially be actually showing up in each game, and it's always something different each game. And so I'm looking forward to the rest of the season to see if they can begin to put more of it together. Can they begin to string together games where they can put a majority of these pieces together, where Cade and Ivy are working well together with Durant, and there's balanced scoring, guys knowing where their shots are going to come from, Isaiah Stewart knocking it down, right? Asar Thompson knocking down 1 or 2 threes while playing great defense and getting out in transition. Sasser and Fontecchio hitting shots off the bench with Grimes and his defense and shots off the bench, and Wiseman doing his thing with pick and roll, right? Like, can we see consistency? Can we see an identity where we know what's going to show up despite the scoring with this team? Because it's one thing to say, hey, shots are dropping or they're not, but you still know what you're going to get. Indiana Pacers, you still know what you're going to get from them, whether shots are dropping. The New York Knicks, you know what you're going to get, even if shots are not dropping. This team, you don't know what they're going to get because if shots aren't dropping, guys get into their heads. They stop focusing, locking in. Their defense slacks off, right? They start getting frustrated easy with calls, and it begins to slip. And so my question for you all is, what do you think we're going to see towards the end stretch of the season? Do you think that they're going to be a team that begins to knock off some of these better teams and they start putting it together? Do you think we're going to see much of what we've been seeing, and them kind of being able to beat the teams that they kind of should and are at the bottom or depleted because of injuries, while losing to the rest? Or do you think it takes a turn for the worse, and they lose even more? But as always, get at me in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button for me and subscribe and the bell for notifications. And I'm out, y'all. Peace.